Hi, I'm Mr. Smith, the principal of St. Pius X.
And I'm Mrs. Smith, and tonight we're going to read to you Santa is Coming to Columbus. And this is our daughter, Marnie.
Our dog. Santa is Coming to Columbus by Steve Smallman. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Columbus been good this year? Well, mostly, answered the little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Columbus had sent him. Mostly, asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've been especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we better get their presents loaded up.
Even though the sack of presents was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it into Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know. But somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him, but... Just then, a young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. But the youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped in the coordinates for Columbus, Ohio. This will guide us to Columbus in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went, racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the Discovery City. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air, crossing the coast over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above the Great Lakes and on to Ohio. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before.
They had just crossed Lake Erie when suddenly they ran into a blizzard. Snowflakes whirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this snow. Soon they were hopelessly lost.
Then through the howling blizzard, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with his red nose, beat his head down. Ding dong, ding dong, there was the sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around and looked at Santa. But Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa's sleigh behind him.
You just hold it, I'll read it. Whoa, cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted cheerfully. It must be the bells of St. Joseph Cathedral. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Then suddenly, crunch! The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through snow clouds. You have arrived, said the Santa nav unhelpfully.
Finally, when the snow had died down and the clouds parted, Santa discovered exactly where they were. Stuck right at the top of a Christmas tree near the Ohio State House. Everybody pull! The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the tree. Santa steered them safely past the Columbus Metropolitan Library, along Broad Street, above Jefferson Avenue Historic District, and down into Franklin Park.
Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted out the presents into order again. "All right," said Santa. "Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming."
Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Columbus, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could. There were big chimneys in the University District and small chimneys in Bexley. He squeezed down thin chimneys in Dublin and plummeted down fat chimneys in Clintonville. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly that went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like children in Columbus were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too.
In house after house, Santa delved inside his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprise. In house after house, the good children of Columbus had left out a large plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack.
From German Village to Grove City, from King Lincoln to Old Town East, from Worthington to Whitehall, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in Columbus. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Aubrey, Braden, Brooklyn, Claire, Caleb. The list went on and on. Yasmin, Xander, Zachary, and Zabil.
Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long Columbus list. "Great moons and stars," sighed Santa. "It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone." Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among the reindeer. "Well done," he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav once more to the North Pole, and soon they were speeding above South Columbus, over Cosi and out past Alum Creek State Park through the crisp, starry night.
Ho, 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 laughed Santa. Merry Christmas, Columbus. And we wish everybody a Merry Christmas.